edit that off. Oh yeah, a little different. Just pull it out just a touch up. Come back.
Is that good?
I think so. I gotta get sweaty.
Got your props there.
Just see if I bring it in here. There we go. Look at that. You can see it there.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
I am. Let's hear. Mine's up there. Do it, do it.
She's message. And I just told her that I was having so on and so forth, but I she ended up checking. I've seen like before and after. Like, wait, what are you doing? And
Hi guys! Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom, and Brittany, I totally missed what you said. I thought that my headset, which I don't have on my ears, would let me. So when I got to the bathroom, I was like, you don't have your headset on. So Brittany, please message me what you said, and I will get back to you. I just had to run to the bathroom. Hi Wagners, how are you? Good morning.
Got on mute.
There we
Hello,
go.
good morning.
Morning.
Oh my gosh, we are so excited. We are pumped up, you guys. We just finished our first session, and we have come up with so many action steps. So this is like lighting our souls on fire. We just got done talking about communicating and building trust and social media presence, and it was just really great. And so I really love that, having you guys on is so super special, and I know that all these girls on here really look up to you both. It's just incredible. We're a little jealous that we don't have the spousal that's right there next to you too. Yeah. But I wanted you guys to come on here and share your story and talk about vision and perhaps a little manifestation, because I know you guys are into the secret and like, what do you want from this? It's all fun, all these tips and communication and everything, but if you don't know why you're communicating with people or why you're showing up, what are you doing? So I know you guys are really good at like, what is your why? What is your vision? What in the world do you want? So I'm just gonna hand it off to you guys and let you do your magic. Okay?
Well, thank you for having us. It's so awesome to see all the smiling, beautiful faces this morning. What a great thing that you're doing, Amy, for your team. I love it. I think the first thing to say is, we named our team Go Ahead Dream Big on purpose. That is a huge thing for us, something that, Dustin has kind of always done, but I've learned since being married to this guy and joining this company how to let ourselves go ahead and dream big. So
that's kind of a big part of our team name too. Is not just Team Go Ahead Dream Big. It's then the tagline: give yourself permission to go ahead and dream big. You got to give yourself permission to dream big. And we start, when we first got going with our team names, we were doing different things. I'm like, no, this is all. The biggest limiter is that we see in this business or in this industry is the ability to dream big and take action. There's the action part too, but you got to be able to dream big and not limit yourself. That's for sure. So.
Yeah, Amy asked us to kind of start with our story, which starts with having to borrow his mom's credit card to place our first order. We were living in a trailer house at that time.
I have a picture of the trailer house, you guys, right here. Let me try to get this in here. We're talking single wide, nothing. The wheels and taillights still underneath it. That was home for 10.
I don't even know.
Yeah, 10 years, 8-10 years,
Yeah.
So that was where we were at when we started this journey, and I always dreamed I'd be going big places, but never dreamed this little sticker on my arm would be what would take me there. Never ever did that cross my mind.
Yeah, exactly. I think, the first 8 or 9 months that we were doing this business, we were kind of just flying by the seat of our pants. love the product, we love the industry, we love the company and all that. And Paul Gravett always talked about vision boards and manifestation and things like that, and we never really grabbed onto that until it was January of 2015. We started in March of 2014. That's when we really started tuning into The Secret, and we made our first vision board at that time. It was nothing pretty. I'm here to tell you guys, it was not beautiful. It consisted of Post-it notes and credit card bills that we wanted to pay off. So it was not beautiful. But when we really kind of started diving into that stuff, everything really started changing.
Yeah, my mom actually gave me The Secret back in 2006 when it first released, and she's like, you gotta watch this, you gotta read this book, it's an amazing thing. And I, at that age and that spot in my life, I wasn't ready. So I can see in the team, you can watch as you've been doing this for a while, you can see as people push The Secret away, the whole manifestation, they're not, no, and then they slowly start coming forward to it. And we got to the point where we would go to bed to it every night. We probably watched it over 100 times. We put it on YouTube or on Netflix and just let it play at night. And one part on there that it was in 2015 that really stuck with me was when he talks about writing on a dollar bill $100,000, taking a dollar bill. So this, you can see it's a little crinkly, right? This is the original manifestation, our first big one, okay? It's got some zeros on it. Originally, I turned this $2 bill into a $200,000 bill, okay? And then on the back, you can see some sticky putty because we had it stuck on our ceiling above us in our bedroom. So every night we'd stare at that, and every morning we'd stare at it. First thing we'd see when we wake up, and last thing we see before we go to bed. And that was I think that was February when we put that $200,000 up there, and we said, we are making $200,000 this year.
And that was after I got these numbers, you guys, because I wanted to see what the actual numbers were. In 2014, between our two accounts, we had made $32,000 with our Lavelle business. And in February of 2015, that's when he made that $200,000 bill. Do you want to read that number here?
And the number that we ended the year at when you add up our commissions was $199,025. You guys, within $1,000.
We were short $1,000.
And I mean, that's dreaming big, right? That's not just being able to project out and say, okay, at this rate of growth. No, it was just, we want to make, what was an astronomical number? $200,000 that was an astronomical, I got goosebumps, astronomical, life-changing, what the hell would you do with that kind of money type thing, right? That's amazing. So we hit that where we were just as blown away as everybody else, and it was incredible. And then you'll be like, wait, I see more zeros on that, Dustin. We took that $200,000 bill, I added a zero on it and said, we're going to both earn $1 million in Lavelle. And we're going to that'll be our 2 million when we both hit that 2 million, or both got the millionaire award. And that was what that port represented. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, we have a little bit of topic to discuss with The Secret, but Amy also asked us to talk about our why and how important that piece is. And the thing with that is throughout your journey, your why is going to change. Our why in the beginning, let's pay off some credit card debt,
Let's go to Wisconsin Dells. We were hoping to make $500 to go to Wisconsin Dells and spend a weekend in the Dells with our kids.
Yeah.
That was it.
We didn't have huge goals when we first started. It was just like, well, we love the products and we're definitely going to share with a few people to get it for free. That's where everything started. Then as things started progressing, we started making new goals. We started having different whys. Eventually, our why was to get out of the trailer house so he didn't have to deal with frozen pipes every winter.
Which was me underneath the trailer house every winter, frozen pipes. And the last winter, the straw that changed the straw broke the camel's back, the one that changed our why. Maybe you've seen this post on Facebook before, is I'm underneath the trailer house, army crawling under the living room. So it's only like, this deep under there. And I got a flashlight in my mouth and I look down, I got a dead rat underneath my face, between my arms. I'm like, where there's one, there's got to be more. And I got out of there as fast as I could. I come inside, slam the door, and I said, that's it. I'm done. I will not spend another winter in a trailer house.
He was so pissed, you guys. And he was just like, I am freaking done with this. We are not doing this one more winter. And one thing we've learned through this is invoking emotion is what makes an impact. Whether that emotion is pissed off. I'm not crawling under that frickin' trailer house again. Whether it's emotion of helping somebody, transform their life or things like that. Whatever that emotion is, invoking emotion with your why is what's going to make you stick to it, and what's going to make you send a message when you are scared to death to reach out to your chicken list. It's going to be what makes you, get up and do the do every day when maybe you don't feel like it. Your why has to invoke some sort of emotion. Our why has changed over the years. Now it's.
And I tell you what, personally, we don't grow in this business. We don't bring in new people if we don't have something to go after, right? We need a why, a targeted why. We decided to buy a vacation rental in Florida, which ended up becoming a second office, but we needed a new why to keep pushing us, because otherwise sure, we're excited to get out of bed and take our Thrive, but like a bonus we have right now, you guys, available, there's no one on your team that's going to hit that bonus. No one, if they don't have it tied to a why. Because what's going to force you to send 4 messages to somebody in a row, day after day after day? You're not going to do that if you just want to help them thrive. You got to have some like major thing you're going after, and that's what gets people out of their comfort zone. You're going to get unfriended on Facebook for something you say anyway. It might as well be for sending a message about Thrive. That's the way I look at it right now. Grow your business and send the message about Thrive.
Yeah, no doubt. That's true. So, when you're thinking about what your why is and why you love this business so much, why you want your friends to thrive so much, you might have to dig deep, For us, being financially free doesn't really create emotion. I mean, obviously that's a great goal and a great why, but it doesn't really create any kind of emotion in me. When we talk about creating a 3-generation legacy for our family so that we can take care of our parents, ourselves, and have our kids completely set up, that creates emotion. That makes me get teary-eyed. That is something that I can get up and work for every single day. Do you see the difference between those two things? They're really the same, but they're not,
I think you're bringing up a good point, because we're talking about money, right? And nobody likes to talk about money. Some do. I do. I love talking about money. You guys want to talk about money? Send me a message. I love talking about money. But
Amy does.
but it's a kind of a sore subject for a lot of people. And this one right here, oh my gosh, you guys, you have no idea. I can remember being on my knees in our trailer house on the floor. We literally took our living room, you guys, and I created a desk that was 16 feet long in our living room. And we put our computers out there. We turned our living room into our office, put a curtain over our TV, and I was on my knees in that living room. We're talking about The Secret. She was hung up on The Secret, and maybe some of you gals get hung up on The Secret too, because she's a religious gal. She doesn't post about that. You don't see a lot about that, but she is. And The Secret, she kind of got hung up on it because she was relating it maybe too much to the religion. It didn't jive in her mind, right? And because she always felt like money was a block for her. She never felt like she didn't need the kind of wealth that Lavelle can give you. Talk about that.
I grew up believing that you don't need more than you need, right? You shouldn't want more than what you need. And so that piece, the money piece, holy cow, that was, like he said, a big holdup. And when we started getting into The Secret, in the beginning, when it says talk to the universe and things like that, for me, being a Christian, I pray to God for things that I want. I am grateful to God for things that I have, right? And when they started talking about the universe, it felt off to me. It didn't feel, again, like it jived with my religious views. And it had Dustin, when it finally came out what my block was, he just said, "Oh my gosh, babe, the universe is whatever it is that you believe in." And when you can pull yourself back and think, okay, not everybody's a Christian, but everybody believes in something, right? That's why the universe is what it is in that book and in that movie. And oh my gosh, once I got past that and like, okay, so for me, the universe is God, right? everything opened up then.
And we talked. I sat there in the living room. She's bawling. I'm afraid I'm going to get punched. You know, you have those moments when you got to bring
Come to
some up.
Jesus
There's a come to
moment.
Jesus moment, right? You know, and I'm like, we've had a lot of those moments. One was she had a teacher voice. She would always, when she'd talk on calls, you know, so, you know, it's great to get constructive criticism from somebody, but it's really hard to deliver that to your spouse, right? But this was another one of those moments. I'm like, we're having a block. We can't hit a goal. We cannot hit 40K. Or we cannot hit 80K because there's some kind of block. And it was that she didn't feel deserving of more money. What am I going to do with it? Well, you come to find out how many more people you can help. Money helps you help people, right? Money makes the world go around, and you can do so much more when you have more. And what the heck? Somebody's going to make it. It might as well be you, right? That's the way I look at it. So that was a huge block. Thought some other people might find value in that too. What else we got? What do you want to talk about?
That's what we have on our list. We've got, it looks like one more minute. Amy said we had about 15 minutes.
We try to be on time for you
Yeah.
guys, right?
Do you want to open it for questions or anything?
Or Amy, do you have something you want us to push on?
Well, I do see that Brittany wrote that she does have a question, so I'll let her unmute and ask that. But yeah, I do have a couple things.
Okay.
I just had a quick question when you guys, Dustin and Tiffany, when you were talking about your vision board and dreaming big in the beginning and things like that, aside from having the exact same block that that Tiffany was talking about with The Secret, because I've only made it that far in The Secret because it's so universal that I just kind of got to the point where I was like second guessing the real meaning and if it went against my beliefs. But aside from that, I was just wondering if either one of you ever struggled with any sort of self-doubt, because you can say that you dream big, and you know, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to vacation, and I'm going to have a beach house, and I'm going to, you know, I'm gonna, but at the end of the day, did either one of you ever struggle with actually being able to obtain those things? Because that seems to be my biggest block. I have the background set on my phone. I have a vision board that I believe, you know, things that I want. But did you ever have the block
Yeah.
of?
Absolutely. And I think one of the big things that helped us with that is the vision board is amazing, right? Those are big goals. If you're not getting any wins along the way, you're going to feel defeated. You're going to have self-doubt so much. So you've got to have targets to hit in order to achieve them big goals. We've been talking with this bonus right now about having a bonus board, you know, and when we went after and got some of those, the big, like the $200,000 bonus, we used the Post-it notes and stuff. Those are so that, because trying to bring in the number of packs we had to bring in for that, we had so much doubt in the world that we could ever do it. But when you can actually start achieving targets and doing things, that's where the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of originally came in, was so people could check off that they were doing things, right? The minimum, that's the minimum, right? Make sure you realize that that's not going to help you hit a rank. That's going to keep you at a rank or keep you where you're at. You know, you want to go further, you got to look more like at the No Limit success tracker. You really got to get after it. But I think having targets is huge, and absolutely, there's times when we're like, can we be leaders? We're not leaders. Are we coming across too strong? Or, you know, all kinds of, are we good at this? All that stuff.
You guys, I'm a born follower. I mean, I would just prefer to follow the pack. I married a guy that kind of goes away from the pack and creates his own way, and you know, so we make a good team because of that. But I think for anybody, there are born leaders out there, right? But when you come into this business, that looks different for everybody. And so, yeah, that it's definitely a kind of learn as you go. And we didn't hit some of the goals we wanted to hit. I mean, we definitely have failed in this business too, but we just keep going. You know, and like he said, having those targets along the way, you celebrate big when you get a new customer. You celebrate big when you get a new promoter. You celebrate big when you go live for the first time on Facebook, or you know what I mean? Like, there's so many awesome things that we can do here, and you should celebrate them, because those are the things that are going to get you to those big vision board goals, you know?
Celebrate the no's too. Not that they didn't message you back. That's not a no. I mean, like the no, you message me again and I'm going to come to your house and, you know, take your firstborn. That's a no, right? I mean, and celebrate that, because that means you went after it hard enough to get a no, to get a real no. And I mean, Rachel told Tiffany no 6 times, right? 6 times, 6 no's, right? And it wasn't until the last message, which she wasn't going to send, she typed up, maybe you guys know this, maybe you don't. She typed the last message she sent to Rachel. She's like, I can't send it. She said no too many times. I reached over and I went, sent. And that was the one, you guys. That was the number. That was the 7th reach or whatever it was. That was the one that she looked at and went, okay, this gal is not quitting. This must be good, and let's give it a shot. So celebrating those kind of things, even when they're hard in the moment, you got to celebrate some of the, I don't want to say failures, because that's not failure. Get in and know it just means you're reaching out enough to get one. So
Yeah.
All right, Amy, what do you got?
Well, I loved how I love the whole secret manifestation. I am the first to tell you that was just kind of like, really? Seriously, vision boards? I think we all go through it. I'm way past it. It does work. I've changed it so many times and celebrated that. Oh my God, I did buy an RV. Oh my gosh, I did, do whatever it is. There's been so many things that I've done. Got debt free. That's been on my vision board since day one, and it took me 5 years to get there, you guys. But I do want to say something. You can vision and manifest all day long, but if you don't take action, what's the point? So I would love for you guys to speak on that.
It was a topic yesterday. We had a powwow lunch with 8 other leaders on the team here, and that was one of the main topics, was my keys to success. My big 2 ones are The Secret and Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule. And guess what? When people read them, they hate them both. I mean, especially females on the team. Most of them, the majority of them, really don't like the 10X Rule because I think Grant Cardone's whatever. Get past that, okay? This one, it took her, I mean, how many times I've tried to get you?
Hated Grant Cardone.
Hated him, But once, yeah, right. But get past that and hear what he's telling you, the business side of what he's telling you, because what we're doing, girls, is a business. It is nothing other than that. It's a business. You're not going to wake up and send 15 messages if you ain't getting paid to do it. You're not going to, have your kids sit in the corner and do stuff by themselves for a few minutes while you send message if you're not getting paid to do it. So if you manifest and have visions but aren't taking the action, you're not going to get anywhere. Same way, if you're just taking a bunch of action but don't have any vision of where you want to go with it, you can also get hung up. So that's where I really like the combo of taking 10x action and dreaming big, amongst the two. So we did a book club, was a year or so ago, or a year and a half ago maybe, on the 10x rule, which was really interesting. We had a bunch of people start with us, and it was a virtual one, and you could, as people went through it, the takeaways, it's really cool to see what Amy takes away from chapter 7, or versus what I took away from it. And I think it helped a lot of people look at that book a little different too. So I think that was a big piece for that.
Yeah.
I was part of that and didn't finish it. I was like, nope, I'm out. And so it's interesting to be able to kind of sit back even a year later. The secret stuff I've been into from the very beginning. First time I was introduced to it, loved it. But yeah, that 10x action, I'm like, no, it doesn't. You shouldn't have to work that hard. You shouldn't have to work that hard to make this happen. And so there was definitely a block on me for that one. So it's probably my cue to go back and try that one.
Well, and it's interesting you say that, Melissa, because it's timing for people, just like it's, it's got to be a good time for people to start their Thrive experience. There's different times in this business where you'll take a lot more from The Secret, or you'll take a lot more from the 10X rule at different parts in your journey. So maybe this is a great time for you, Melissa, to go back and listen to that one again.
Yeah, when I remember when we started really posting, well, we've always posted a lot about Thrive on Facebook, but there was a time when it really started getting a negative vibe to be posting your product on Facebook. I know some professionals still tell you not to do that, but in the part of that book where he talks about does Coca-Cola worried about advertising too much? Are they worried about having their logo in too many places? No. And Grant Cardone the same way. He emails. Oh my gosh, man. You get on his email list, he hammers you so hard. You know what? He hammers you so hard you don't forget him. And when you're ready to order the product he has, even if you unsubscribe, you remember him and you go back to him and order. That's how I keep getting on his email list.
He's unsubscribed a few times,
many times,
but he still goes back and orders products. So
and hit the list. You can look up the hashtag HTL. And when we came back from GrowthCon the one year, we came back and made a commitment to hit the list. And you can look at some of the posts we're putting out. We're hitting our list. If you're not getting people to unsubscribe from your list, aka if you're not getting people unfriended
Yeah.
or unfollow, or if you're using a SMORE system or email system and they're not unsubscribing, you're probably not hitting the list enough. You got that list for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we're over our time. We better turn it back over to
Yeah,
Amy.
sorry. I get going.
I have a question. I love everything that you guys are saying, but I was really curious. What does your foundation look like with this process? Like, I know you guys recommend The Secret or the dollar bills, and I know you guys wake up early and listen to motivational speakers and whatnot. But like, what do you do to really zone in on that manifestation? Like, I know for me, I'm learning about it, and one of the things that they say in order to actually work is to quiet your mind. So I'm just curious about what are the things that you guys do that actually like worked, because I know if you're gonna stick a dollar bill on the wall and look at it and be like, turn to bigger money, you know what I mean? So like, what does the foundation look like that you guys could share with us that has actually worked?
We're very different in this aspect, you know.
We are.
But and it's different. I mean, my brain is a lot. We're just like two totally different beings, right? And for me, I just need to see it, right? And I got to be able to see it, and then I need to keep thinking about it. It just has to be in my mind. I'm not a meditator. I think meditation's great for the right person. My brain is always, I feel like Amy might have the same kind of brain that I got. Like, it's just always going, right? You know, so man, I really find it hard to bring it down that far, but I'm pretty sure you do a little something different. Yours.
Yeah, I have to have a real positive energy about whatever it is I'm doing that's going to get me to the goal. And so instead of saying, I have to send 10 messages today, for me, it has to be, I get to send 10 messages today, or I get to reach out, or I get to do 3-way, phone calls or message threads, or, it really, for me, having a positive energy around whatever it is that I'm doing, and the positive energy, like when I had a block with money, it was not positive for me to think of the things that he wanted on the vision board, right? Because I had that block. So for me, it's just getting into that real positive energy about all the things that are going to make that happen.
And that's where her positive, the motivation in the morning and starting out there is huge, right? The only way I can quiet my mind is making graphics. You guys are like, God, you're always making graphics. Well, that's the only way I can really, because all my brain goes into that, and then that's the only time I really slow down. But I had something else I was going to go with. I hate that. See, there we go.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. But like I was going to say, if she doesn't have positive energy into her samples, she could send 10 samples out today. Be awesome. But if she was negative, gosh, I've had bad luck with samplers lately. Nobody's buying. Not a single one of them are going to.
And none of them will have a good experience either on
Every
their 3 days.
time. She has to put good energy. Literally, you're packing that sample up, or you're typing it into the computer. You're legit putting that positive energy into that message or into that, and it changes it.
If I'm in a bad mood, I'm not sending messages. If I'm in a bad mood, I am not plugging in sample packs into the Lavelle mail out samples, because that energy transfers over, and I mean, I've seen it 100 times. So I wait to do those things until I have that positive mindset and that positive energy to give to whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions before I ask? Another one more.
I think one of the things that's challenging, and this, my first thought is like, this is probably more marriage counseling than anything. But I noticed that Tanya asked a similar question, so I'm going to kind of build on it, right? So Tanya's question was, how do you motivate team members who don't have spouse support at home? My husband is super supportive, but when we're talking about this manifestation stuff, he's like, yeah, I'm out. Like, that's so out of my league, or I so don't get that. And so that stuff, like, so how do you kind of, I make a vision board based on the things that I want, and I put things on there that I know he wants. But we don't, so we're not participating in that together. And so I kind of feel like sometimes maybe energetically, like you're talking about, Tiffany, you're putting that energy in, energetically, there's kind of that block between us, right? Like, I'm trying to manifest it, and he's like, what are you doing? And so any kind of thoughts or ideas around that would be awesome. And then again, to Tanya's question, motivating team members that probably have similar situations happening in their household.
Yeah, so this word is horrible. My wife hates when I use it, but manipulating, right? You're going to manipulate your husband. That's what you want to do. Let's say, he wants the dream skid steer, or something like that, ask him detailed questions about it. Get him to really envision what he wants from that, So like, oh, would it have air conditioning? Well, show me a picture of it. Do you like the one? Oh, what's its tracks about? Get involved with them on it. You're manipulating them into dreaming about that piece they want, then put it on your vision board and don't tell him about it. He can see it over there, but you can talk of, and maybe you go and grab another brochure, swing by the dealership and grab a brochure and bring it home and show it to him. Hey, is this the one you were talking about? So you keep that vision fresh for him, whatever it is, and then when you get to the point where he gets to get that piece, you can be like, all right, now I want you to read one chapter of this. And that's where that in the last book club we did, we asked, share one chapter with your spouse, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to shove, you would have never shoved this stuff down my throat. I had to dabble into it, right? there's no way you're going to be able to do that.
And you can even take something small with that and get him to think about something, and then, it's there, and okay, that's what this was. Even away from the manifestation, if we just take it to the Lavelle business, we're big on including the family. So like when we make our vision boards, we include the kids. And if Dustin wasn't in this business with me, I would include him, like what should we put on here, that we want as a family, So some things that we do is our kids have gone to events with us. So they're hearing the stories, they're hearing how lives are changing. We've had court calls on in the car when we're driving, and so the kids are tuned into that. But we involve them in everything business related, so they can kind of understand when mom's on her phone answering a message from a team member or a customer or something like that, she's changing a life, right? And when we hit this goal, we get to go here, we get to do that, or, so I think for spouses, significant others, kids, it all kind of is encompassing. The more you include them in what you're doing, the more they'll kind of start to see and maybe not right away, but eventually they'll kind of start to see some of the same visions that you do.
We also love to share your wins with our kids too. So like when you guys are posting something amazing you got, and we're like, oh my gosh, look at, they hear some of your names when we're talking and stuff. So they kind of getting to know some of you without ever meeting you. And we're like, oh, so-and-so just, did this with their family. How cool is that? And to let them see that what we're doing, there's a trickle down. Same with you can do with your team. What you're doing on your teams, there's a trickle down of wins happening. And we need to absorb that energy sometimes if we don't feel like we're winning too. On Tanya's point there, what she was asking, I did that post in the team page about different levels of spousal support for that reason. We get that a lot because we do work well together, and we know not everybody gets that. And it's like sometimes, what you would not have guessed what I'm doing at home. A lot of times at home, I'm doing I do all the laundry, guys, right? I do all 99% of the laundry and taking care of the kids and going and picking them up from school and stuff. That's part of a major part of it. And sometimes I think if we can just acknowledge the small things that seem like they have nothing to do with the business, that's the very first step to getting a spouse on board, I think. And that's kind of where we try to show the different things that a spouse can do that is actually supporting, even if it doesn't feel like, because if you think your husband or your wife or whatever is going to go sit down and send 20 messages to Facebook friends every day, that ain't happening. Mm-hmm. I mean, just be done, that's not happening. Think of you as a partnership, not two separate accounts. We see that a lot, where people have spousals have accounts and they're more in competition with each other. Friendly competition's cool, but like think of that as our two accounts, they're one. We run a .com, we funnel like all the free accounts come to me. You see her shouting me out, that's her getting those free accounts or getting those customers, but that's just business smart, right? So we work it as a team, and and I think just showing them, just giving them that little bit of gratitude when even the small things is the first step. Cause
Like you said, even if it doesn't feel like it's business related, when they're doing the laundry, when they're cooking the food, when they're getting the kids to bed or getting them from school, or running to sporting events and things like that, dropping for practices and whatnot, that is support of your business if that's allowing you time to
sneak a picture of that when he doesn't see it and post it on Facebook and shout him out, right? Says shout him out for a customer. Amy, I know you do this, right? You sneak a picture of him doing that. Megan's real good about it too. She snags pictures of Eric, or when he gives her the gifts on Fridays, those shout outs like that, so that that helps them feel included too, and then they're getting to know more of your network as well. So yeah, it's definitely a tricky deal, but once they get on board and they're getting you got an auto bonus earned for them, and you're getting the auto bonus, they come on board a lot quicker then. Yeah, exactly. You got to get to that part with the guys.
show me the money.
If it's not money, you can be creative.
Crack a beer.
Hashtag crack a beer.
All right, guys. So our next speaker's coming on 11, but I want to give everybody a chance to walk away, get some water, go to the bathroom. But what part of what I want to do with each session is to put in some action steps, and I'm just going to say that one of the action steps that is critical for us is to write our why. And I just want to let you guys know that when I used to write my why, it used to be just, I wouldn't think real hard about it. I'd be like, I want to give my kids whatever they need when they go to college. I want to be able to not look at my bank statement before I go into a grocery store. I would just think of it like that. And then, did it spark emotion, like you said? No, there's things I want. And I remember, Tiffany, specifically, you asked me to write my why, and I sent that to you. And you went, how did that make you feel? And I'm like, it would be nice. And you said, try again. And I was like, really? And then I sent it again. And you're like, how'd that make you feel? And I was like, I hope it works out. And you said, no, I need you to dig deep. And that was very, very hard for me. And I cannot remember how you got me to do that, but do you have suggestions or how to make that more than just, I want to check the bank account. I want to make sure I can go to Target when my kids go to college and buy them everything they want. That's what the team, it's like goal setting, right? As a team, and I'm guilty too. What are your goals? 12K. Talk to more people. Plug in. Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's different for everybody on how they get to that point. But when you're done writing your why and you read it, you have to think about how it makes you feel. Like Amy said, how does it make you feel? Well, pretty good. I hope it happens. That would be awesome. Those aren't actually really feelings, when we really dug deep and figured out that a 3-generation legacy for us meant that our parents and our kids are going to be 100% taken care of. They're not going to have to worry about things. That invokes emotion. That makes me feel like, oh my gosh, my parents took care of me for my first 18 years, and now I'm going to be able to return the favor, and my kids aren't going to have to, like that actually makes me feel something in my heart. It's not just, well, I want to be 200K. Awesome. What does that mean to you? What does being 200K mean to you? And how do those things make you feel? That's what, really digging in. It has to make you feel something here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it doesn't, try again.
In my favorite one is, I just want to help people feel better. Bullshit. I'm sorry. We all want to help. That we have an amazing product, and we're going to help people feel amazing. That's the avenue. That's the vehicle we're going to use to get what? Why are you getting up today? Why are you going to stay up an hour later tonight and send some more messages? Why are you going to do that? Not just hit 12K. You're going to do it because your van is missing an airbag because you hit a deer and blew up and you couldn't afford a new one to put in, and it's zip tied together, and you need a new vehicle, right? Because you need more safety for your kids. And because if you get in a car crash and they were to die because there's no airbag in it, oh my God, you'd feel horrible. How would you live with yourself? That is why you need to hit 12K, So you got to find that real why. Sorry, I got a little loud.
That was good though, but that I mean that really is. You can't just say I want to get to this goal. Why do you want to get there? What are you going to do when you get there? And how does that make you feel?
So it takes time to make that happen. So that's going to be our number one action step. Our number two action step is going to be, I think, and I'm saying this with resistance, and I need to listen to The Secret again. I haven't listened to it 100 times. I've listened to it once.
And here's what I'll tell you. There's a movie, there's a book, and just recently, within the last probably 6 to 8 months, we realized it's actually on Audible. That is hands down my favorite of all of those, is listening to it on Audible. There's more detail, there's more emotion, there's more stories.
It's in your ears, you know, it's right in there. You got those earbuds in, you know, and you're not getting all the other stuff, right?
So that would be my recommendation is throw Audible in your earbuds and listen to it that way.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Do you guys have any other questions for these wonderful people?
Which book? Kayla Cotton said, yep, the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. That's the one mixed with The Secret. That is kind of the magic sauce.
Yep. There it is. Yeah.
There it is. Well, thank you for having us, Amy. You guys have an awesome retreat. It looks like you guys are in for a really awesome day.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks so much. Have a great weekend, you guys.
You too.